Hey guys, thank you so much for watching today. Welcome back to Behind Glass Aquarium Simulator. This is an early access game on Steam. We took a first look at it yesterday or the day before on the channel, so if you've missed that, I do highly recommend checking that out. This is just a very simple aquarium simulator game, and as of right now, the version of the game that is available for play is just a creative tank building game. There is no management, there is no welfare or anything like that, but we took a first look at it and I actually really enjoyed it. For those of you that are new to the channel, I've had a very rough week and this was kind of exactly the game that I just needed to space out. I put a movie on, I just kind of placed some things in the aquarium. I find aquariums very relaxing in general. I actually used to have like a 50-gallon freshwater aquarium in my house. They're just a lot of maintenance, and so unfortunately I didn't have the time for it anymore, but I find them really relaxing. So being able to build one was relaxing for me as well. So what we are building today is just an angelfish tank. I decided that I wanted to make this a very natural looking tank for some angelfish. Now the angelfish that we end up putting in the tank, I was bummed to find that only one color was available. I was hoping that I could put some different color angelfish in the tank, but decided that angelfish in this kind of naturalistic, like river kind of tank is what I was going for. So you can see that using a lot of these natural branch slash log pieces to create like the little center pieces of the tank. So just lots of logs or branches rather, and rocks is what I'm going for. I actually found out later in the build that you can place, like as a paintbrush tool, you can place moss on the branches. So we do end up doing that as well. Really cool feature of the game is that you can put moss and even algae, like you can make it look like the tank is not so clean, which I went for a pristine tank because a dirty tank would like raise my anxiety through the roof. It would just stress me out. So we went through a very, very clean tank on this one. But yeah, just lots of plants, lots of natural stuff for this tank. I really like the wood background. As I was looking for backgrounds for this tank, I thought that that matched really well. In our first look tank, we did more of like a little zen kind of tank with just some mixed fish in there. I think the next tank that I want to try will probably be a saltwater tank. And I want to do a little bit of research because I've never actually owned or kept up a saltwater tank. So I really am not familiar with the needs of saltwater fish, other than obviously they need saltwater versus freshwater. But angelfish I'm also not super familiar about, other than I've just heard that they can be somewhat aggressive, which is why I have decided to keep them in an angelfish only tank. I know that they can get along with some other like non-aggressive fish that aren't going to go after their fins and stuff like that. So like beta is another fish that's in the game. Clearly I didn't want to put them in the tank because I didn't want them to, you know, go after the angelfish fins and stuff like that. Again, all of this is just implied stuff. There is no management in the game. This is just me thinking about what kind of tank I want to make. But yeah, so it ends up just being angelfish, although like I said, I wish that I could add different color angelfish, because that's why I was looking at different fish to add in there, because the angelfish that are in the game right now are just silver, kind of like gray, and they don't add a lot of color variety. But I really do enjoy how the mechanics of this game work, in that placing these things, they don't have like hitboxes around them, so you can place them like right up next to other scenery items and stuff like that. You can see how I got that log to kind of sit on top of the rock. Another thing that I really liked, and I did actually use it in this build a couple times, is the fact that you can place it up in the water and they kind of like sink down to the ground. They kind of like float down. No, sink down. Float would be up. Float up, sink down. Yes, they sink down to the bottom and they kind of settle how they naturally would if you had dropped the object in the water, which I thought was really, really cool. So moving on to the kind of bottom coverage here, you can see I'm using the little paintbrush tool to add some like mosses and some little grasses in the bottom of the tank. I thought that this would be like a live plant tank, so ideally this is all not like plastic plants and stuff like that, like actually a planted tank. I'm pretty sure though with a planted tank, the substrate would need to be a little bit different in that you have to like layer it, right? You have to layer certain things so that the plants have what they need to grow. Right now it's just all rocks, but obviously that's just because it's just a terrain paint. It's just a little paintbrush that kind of puts a pattern on the ground and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure with live tanks, I never actually had a live planted tank. I just had like fake plants in my tank, so that's not something I'm super familiar with. But here you go, we can see we're putting the little fishies in, and I love watching them swim around. I actually kind of left this on while I was doing some other computer work on my second monitor and just kind of watched them swim around for a little bit and listen to the bubbles. I find it really, really relaxing. You can see me here scrolling through all the fish that are a possibility. So if you see any of these fish in here and you think, oh, we should make a tank for one of those, I think somebody already commented and let me know that they would like to see a cichlid tank. So happy to do that as well. Again, we're just in freshwater, so we're not actually seeing any of the saltwater fish. I did temporarily put a crab in the tank, but then I was worried. I didn't know if the crab was gonna like try to hurt the fish. I'm not super familiar with crabs in tanks, so I didn't know. So I just thought, to be safe, we're just gonna keep it straight angelfish tank. And so that's what we have here. We're just playing with a little bit of lighting and then picking a background for this tank. I go back, I haven't yet what I was talking about with the algae, or not the algae, the moss and the paintbrush, getting it to grow on the different branches and stuff. I go back and do that at the end because as of right now, I don't actually know that I can do that yet. But when I was looking at it, I thought that it looked a little bit plain, so I was adding just a few more rocks here and there, really scaling them down to look like little rocks placed throughout the aquarium to give a little bit more detail. This build, or building aquariums, really only takes me maybe 20 minutes at most. It's a really fast, easy little game, like I said, to relax with. And thank you again to the devs for giving me the early access code so that I can check this out for you guys. I have no idea when they're planning for full release. I don't know if they've said yet, but this game is available on Steam to purchase the early access, and I think it's like $9.99 US or something like that. I'll link it down below as well as their Discord if you want to check them out. I believe it's just a really small game developer, and I think they're doing an awesome job. You can see we've added some bubbles in the back, and here I think is where I decide, and then I realize when I'm moving this little green dot around that it will highlight some of the stuff, and see I clicked on there and the moss, was growing off the log. So I was like, wow, that's pretty neat. You can like do it even on the background, and then I got a little carried away and took it all away because it was a bit much. But we're gonna jump into just some end little cinematics of our fish tank. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you do want to see more, let me know down below. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out, and leaving a like always helps me out and I greatly do appreciate it. If you'd like to follow me elsewhere, I'm also on Twitter, Discord, TikTok, and Instagram, and I would love to see you there. All those links are down below in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye!